very angry at Trump's crime plans, his plans to clean up D.C. And again, this clip in particular would lead me to believe, if I was just your average Joe watching this clip, I would be led to believe they are admitting that blacks perpetrate the most crimes in D.C. Because why then would you call this program? Why would you say there are racist undertones to it if they are going out to arrest criminals and they're mostly going to be arresting black people? Wouldn't you come to the conclusion that those are the people committing the crimes? So if you're mad about it, you know that they're committing the most crimes. You just don't want them to pay consequences for it. That's the real rub here, isn't it? Let's watch.
The president has been trying to provoke violence here, right here, in the black communities and in the brown communities. Having ICE kidnap our neighbors, having the black community be harassed and profiled and want a response. We say, hell no, we won't go.
You make that up? Good one.
We won't go. Hell no, we won't go. When we say we won't go, that means we're not going to those mass incarceration, into their prisons and enslavement. We won't go into their ICE, what do you call his beautiful centers that he got.
Beautiful.
We won't go to where alligators live. Hell no, we won't go.
Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go.
Today we gather to speak plainly about policy paths that sound strong, but in truth, it weakens the very safety we seek. We believe there is a better way to protect us all. One that respects rights to build trust and keep our communities truly safe, and that is fascism free. It is not a roadmap to safety. It is a burial. It fails hardest on the black communities that already we bear a disproportionate share of surveillance, stops, and forces. I want to be clear. We've been here before. This is a long history. Well before today, the black communities bearing the brunt of aggressive policing. Data and reports from many credible organizations show patterns. Black people are more likely to be stopped, searched, questioned, arrested, and harmed in encounters with the law. When we add the presence of federal agents or the National Guard to daily life in these neighborhoods, the burden can multiply. Not by making harm more rare, but making it more visible and more likely to escalate. So be clear, this has been going on. But as you bring more policemen, it's going to escalate. Black Washingtonians have long recognized that community violence cannot be solved through state violence, and have asked for meaningful investments and solutions that are proven to work. Racist over-policing goes beyond D.C., as the roots of American policing in many regions, like enslaved patrol. Police have been enslaving and murdering black people with freedom for punishment for centuries. I stand in front of you today with a signal to the residents of D.C. and the country that we will not be idle as oppressive structures try to harm our communities and take power. The fight for black liberation and the liberation of all people will not stop no matter our oppression, intimidation, manipulation tactics.
Manipulation.
We have the right to demand respect, to protect ourselves and protect each other. And as the executive director of Her Wildest Dreams, I want to name white people's civil rights have never been in danger because they are white. The white civil rights represents the desire from the Jim Crow. Full stop. At Her Wildest Dreams, and as we support Free DC, we're fighting against mass incarceration, policing, ICE, violence towards immigrants and Muslims, violence in Palestine, worker exploitation, and more. We're fighting for freedom and safety for all people.
You could just the low IQ. Can't you just hear it in the voice? You could just hear the low IQ right there. Beautiful. There's a thing some black people do. They put an R after the U. After the U, there's a consonant and then a U, and then they'll put an R there. So, beautiful, community. I remember, who was it? We had a boxer. Oh, it might have been, what's his name? $1 Million, what's that guy's name? Floyd? George Floyd?
Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. And he was on the O&A show, and I was laughing because he would say, and I'm the undisputed champ. I'm like, undisputed? It's a weird speech impediment that I've only heard black people do. And she was doing it right there. Beautiful. I don't know. Community. So, of course it's a problem. Law enforcement is a problem. This should be celebrated by the people of D.C., by the people that live there, that work there, the tourists that come there. It should be celebrated by every single person. Only a lunatic or someone so low IQ and stupid they can't see how good this is for the city would think different. And, that's what we get. Low IQ, completely emotionally driven. The victim card, the victimization has to be in full effect. That's part of the long agenda that they've been playing in the black community. And it has to continue. So they need this to look like they are the victims, that this is a personal agenda of Donald Trump, dictator, fascist, Führer, against black citizens. If black people aren't committing crimes, they wouldn't be arresting a lot of black people. That's the simple, easy fact of the matter. Here's more Trump DC crime program protests. These are you have your people that get up and give their speeches. You have your politicians and the mainstream media newscasters. But nothing works without a good old fashioned degenerate shithead protest of people out in the street chanting the same thing like the retarded cult members that they are. So let's take a look at some of the protests going on now.
We come in, and this is our city. Whose city? Whose city?
No.
Whose city? Whose city? Free DC. 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 Protect home rule. 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 We come in.
Chanting is probably the most unintelligent, the most widespread example of lack of intelligence, lack of your own ideology, your own deductive powers of deduction and deductive reasoning. And you are just this part of an organism that just works as one stupid organism. And the chanting is such an example of that. Someone says something, you just go, blah, blah, blah. You just chant the same thing over and over again. And you think it's some type of empowering thing. that we're getting our word across. No, you just look like a group of dummies that repeat the same thing. And then if you've noticed with these organisms, these collectives that all chant the same thing, when one is pulled away by somebody that with a microphone, and then they ask them, why are you here? What are you protesting? How do you see a solution? Instead, you ask them real questions. They do not have a clue. They don't know. They get very frustrated very quickly. They lash out at the person asking them the question, and then they run away. They leave saying, I'm not even going to talk to you, because they're part of a collective. They're inconsequential, ineffective, useless, alone, you know? But when they're part of the collective and they got this chant that they can yell out and repeat from someone else, then they're part of it. No independent thought, no ability to see what's going on, rationally assess it in your own intelligent mind, and then come to some type of opinion or conclusion that you can then convey to other people. They're incapable of this. We've seen this thousands of times with these protests. They just cannot voice what they're protesting. So they yell out these dumb slogans because they're like the herd, the zombies. Oh, here's a herd of zombies. That's it. It's the epitome of groupthink, lack of independence, unintelligence. It's right there for you to see. Happens all the time. Here's Jeanine Pirro. Jeanine Pirro, she's the Attorney General, I believe, for the United States now. She was appointed. And here she is speaking out on the D.C., the weak laws and crime that led to Donald Trump taking over, federalizing D.C. Let's listen to Jeanine Pirro.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you, Madam Attorney General, and to all my partners here. We all want the same thing. We all want a safe city. We want a safe capital. We want to be able to bring our families here. We want to be able to come and enjoy the history that makes this place great. And unfortunately, we are not in that position right now. And Mr. President, I want to thank you for taking the step that we need right now to make criminals understand that they are not going to get away with it anymore. And I'm not going to stand here and go over and over the cases. But what I can tell you is this. I see too much violent crime being committed by young punks who think that they can get together in gangs and crews and beat the hell out of you or anyone else. They don't care where they are. They can be in DuPont Circle, but they know that we can't touch them. Why? Because the laws are weak. I can't touch you if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you have a gun. Tell me about it. I convict someone of shooting another person with an illegal gun on a public bus in the chest. Intent to kill? I convict him. And you know what the judge gives him? Probation. Says you should go to college. We need to go after the D.C. Council and their absurd laws. We need to get rid of this concept of, no cash bail. We need to recognize that the people who matter are the law-abiding citizens. And it starts today. But it's not going to end today, because the president is going to do everything we need to do to make sure that these emboldened criminals understand we see you, we're watching you, and we're going to change the law to catch you. And my final note is this. These kids understand that the jurisdiction is through the state attorney general, Brian Schwab. I did a poster of the young man from Doge who was beaten bloody with a severe concussion, a broken nose. And then I did a poster of what happens to those kids, because I can't arrest them. I can't prosecute them. They go to family court, and they get to do yoga and arts and crafts. Enough. It changes today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes. Tough talk. Sounds good. I would love if that was the truth. Oh, that's why I'm looking so weird. I got these big giant